Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another World of Tanks video with a bunch of subscriber replays in. And we are kicking off today with Trillock 1945, and he is driving for us the Panzer Jäger 1. It's the tier 2 German tank destroyer. Basically Trillock has decided to go down the German tank destroyer line. And this is a step toward that. You can see, for example, he is actually using the 47mm gun on this thing. He does not have the top gun unlocked. Or presumably he doesn't. He certainly doesn't have it equipped. This was the day on which he acquired this machine. So it's all a little bit new and shiny. Trying to pick out shots on the T7 combat car, but unfortunately wasn't able to hit. It's awkward to actually get hits on those guys rushing up to the hill, but interestingly, Trillock's team have the north spawn, and usually, kill number 1, that's a pretty sure bet for getting the hill, but it seems Trillock's team just haven't bothered. So the team from the south spawn actually have the hill, which is a new and interesting scenario. We'll see how that pans out. Probably not particularly well, as you might be able to guess. Now on the flip side, that does mean that Trillock is probably going to get the opportunity to do a lot of shooting. So, you know, swings and roundabouts for all these things, and we'll see how it goes. Just looking out for some more shots here. No joy. I mean, he's on mines in a tank destroyer. To be honest, it's awkward to be too aggressive in that sort of situation. And sometimes you find finding a position from which you can be a bit campy is perhaps your best bet. And we also have friendly fire from the TKS, probably unloading a mag or part of a mag into some poor schmuck or something like that. Ooh, hello Mr. Panzer 35. That was 2 shots into you. I don't think you're feeling very well now. And M14 41. And there is kill number 2. Nicely done. Can we make it kill number 3? Oh, the guy just backs off in time. But that Panzer is playing with fire. 7TP gonna try his luck. Yes, he is. There we go. A nice shot into him. So up to 342 damage done at this point. Even a little bit of assistance damage, which is a little bizarre. Although, to be fair, Trillock has got binos. So perhaps that shouldn't come as a huge surprise. No one else appears to be poking their head around the corner of those rocks at the moment. Can't really say I blame them, let's be honest. Oh, I say that just as the 7TP goes for it, and whoa, okay. Thank you, Mr. TKS, that is exactly what we needed. You ramming into our side. Gotta love these teams, especially at the lower tiers, right? Gotta love them. But Trillock doesn't get flustered, he's just like, oh, well, that was a thing. Let's just get out of his way, and then see who else we can shoot. Oh, tracks the Panzer, doesn't quite kill him, but that shot does, and that's kill number 3. Although, despite the fact that Trillock's on 3 kills in, what, 3.5 minutes? It's about a kill a minute. The scoreline is pretty close, which just goes to show you how well the rest of the game is going. And they've lost the probably not particularly useful team damager, so yeah. Scorelines are now even completely. R35 over here, quite a nasty little machine when top tier, has a good amount of armour. And as Trillock is not using the top gun, penetrating this guy could be interesting. Not only is Trillock not using the top gun, of course, but Trillock has not got any special ammunition. Yeah, it's still going to take me a while to get used to saying that. Anyway. T7 combat car. Any joy? Not so much. R35. Also not so much. Oh, I did not know that building was destructible, I will be honest. That one is not. So Trillock's able to take out one of the buildings that's giving this guy a bit of cover, and then put a shot into him. Nicely done. So that guy is on less than 100 health now. Good, because he can be a dangerous little machine. T7 combat car was last spotted up on the hill. And then we've got the T60 and the TKS, speak of the devil and he shall appear, that we have seen this game. Haven't seen the artillery yet, perhaps not a huge surprise. That T60 does warrant some attention as he is on 4 kills. So if Trillock can prioritise him, that would be a sensible thing to do. Ooh, right at the limit of Trillock's gun traverse, that's awkward. No. Bounced. You want to shoot at the turret on those things if you're in any doubt, but nonetheless, the T60 has gone to a better place. That's a valuable kill. That guy, as I say, was on 4 kills, so it is useful to have him dead. R35 and T7 combat car. T7 combat car actually crashes. So on the enemy team, bless them, they've had 1 team killer and at least 1 guy who has just crashed, so I guess that evens things up a little bit, right? It's tier 2, it's a battle of who is the least rubbish, rather than who is the best. Now I appreciate you might say, but Chip, isn't that the same thing? Well, you go and play some of those games and make your mind up. Anyway, R35. Oh, he's managed to get a little bit closer, the sneaky little blighter. Oh, hello. A sneaky 81 appears. 1 shot. 2 shot miss. No! And then the guy manages to get into cover. And that's the friendly artillery dead. And that's the friendly D1 dead. So it's just Trillock and this Cruiser 3. Now between them they have 6 kills. Which is good. They've got the most kills of anyone on their team. And they're also outnumbered 2 to 1, which is less good. And there's a nice big fat hit into him. Don't know why this guy thinks staying there is a good idea, because, oh dear. And that AT1 just drives down a hill, and the Cruiser on Trillock's team is able to finish him off. So that leaves the T1 HMC, so that's an artillery piece, and the FTAC. Now that is a French tier 2 tank destroyer. It's got a good gun, but it's very, very, very slow. Trillock is certainly in the faster machine here. So, with that said, it's entirely possible Trillock is going to be able to get up onto the hill and potentially spot that guy, because if I were a betting man, I would say that fellow, despite the fact that there hasn't been any action over there, I would say that fellow is probably over by sort of J7 or somewhere not too far from the enemy base. Now I could be wrong. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this guy. Maybe he's actually much closer than that and trying to get into the fight and simply hampered by the fact that his mobility is so poor. Maybe that is the case. Then again, maybe not. Ooh, ooh, hello artillery. Oh, FTAC takes out the Cruiser. Left Trillock, left, left, left. You have a shot if you aim to the left. He's partially behind a rock, but you have a shot if you aim to the left. There we go. 1, and the artillery flubs his shot, and he becomes Trillock's 6th kill. Now, the FTAC, it seems, had driven a short distance from the base, though not too far. Executes the Cruiser, but did take some damage in the process. So he is, I think it was a 1-shot now for Trillock. And Trillock, of course, only, you know, he has almost all his hit points left. The only damage he's taken was from his ally driving into him, which is incredibly useful. And there's the FTAC. Now, Trillock can take a hit from this guy if necessary. He doesn't want to take more than 1 hit. Oh no, Trillock, you should have been aiming there just to try and nick the guy. And now we have a proper Mexican standoff because they are each 1-shots for the other. Now what I would be trying to do is disengage and approach the guy from behind a bush or something. Say the bush on the left hand side, it would be from a different angle. There you go, unspotted. Just to try and get the drop on this fellow. And it seems that Trillock has had the same idea. There he is. Now, there's the shot. No, 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 no. Little. There we go, there we go, there we go. And boom. 7 kills. Nicely done, Trillock. Nice little outmaneuver right at the end. Good job. Not quite sure if you're able to hear it there, but at the moment of Trillock's success, you might have been able to make out the squeakiest cat in the world. Anyway, ace tanker for Trillock there, along with Bruiser, fire for effect, and a Top Gun medal. Very nicely done, especially as Trillock had only just started going down this line, and this tank was not fully upgraded. 716 damage done, 7 kills, 776 base experience. Shout out and commiserations to the Renault R35 on the enemy team. 610 damage, 4 kills, just not enough for the win. And shout out to the Cruiser on the friendly team, 576 damage and 3 kills. He was valuable toward the end of the match there. 25 shots fired, 17 hits, 15 kills. Sorry, 17 hits, 15 penetrations for that damage count. A bit of a mixture there, quite, more than half from long range, but also some damage from relatively close range. And as it turned out, when you total everything up, Trillock was able to walk away with a 13,000 credit profit, which for Tier 2 is not too shabby at all. So, just a little warm-up there, down at Tier 2, but nice to see, and nice to see a little bit of outplay right at the end there in a tank destroyer, just approaching the enemy tank destroyer from a different angle and from behind a bush, where he was unlikely to be spotted from. So, nicely done. Now we're just going to bump up a few tiers, and we're going to get to Tier 6, I believe it is. Once again then, we are here on Mines in a tank destroyer, and if I get slightly tongue-tied at some point during this recording, I apologise. This is my 4th or possibly 5th attempt at recording this particular replay. So, we join Pansy in the Tier 7, not Tier 6, as I mistakenly said, the Tier 7 Chinese tank destroyer, the T-34-2GFT, which is a bit of a mouthful. He's platooned up with Chaos Raven in the IS-2. Both of these tanks pack 122mm guns. The difference is that Pansy's is a bit better. It reloads faster, it has higher penetration, it has better fully aimed accuracy, I believe, and I believe it also aims faster. So, there's that. Now, this is a Tier 9 match, which is going to be interesting from Pansy's perspective, because he's in a Tier 7. So, he's not the big scary bad boy. And, oh, hello, Mr. 45TP, and boom! 390 Alpha, rolls for 460, and tracks the guy in the process. He is not having a particularly good day. And here on Mines, this is a small map, which means at the higher tiers, people with maxed out view range, sorry, not maxed out view range, strictly speaking, with 445 meters of view range or greater, they do tend to rather dominate the map if they can make it onto the hill. And, well, the friendly team have actually made it onto the hill. And that is unusual because Pansy has spawned in the southern spawn. Now this is actually quite similar to what happened in the previous game, where we saw, again, the southern team get to the hill, but in this case, like I said, it's a higher tier game, so you could argue the hill has more value than it did in the lower tier match because of that view range. It does also mean that the tank destroyers and whatnot on the friendly team do have to be, on both teams, do have to be rather more cautious, as they can easily find themselves getting spotted. Basically, it means if you play a tank destroyer, Mines ends up being quite a campy map for you, and boom, and bounce on the side of a Centurion. Really. Now, unfortunately, Chaos Raven has been taken down. That's a shame, but it is a Tier 9 match, so it can be awkward for an IS-2. Hello, Mr. Comet. Boom, headshot. 423 damage, a nice high damage roll on him. And Pansy's also picking up some assistance damage here on some of these guys. Nope, no shot on the Comet there. What about the T-34? Ah, shot whiffs. That's a shame. Now, Pansy actually has 3 marks of excellence on his T-34-2GFT. I'm not going to say that every single time I try and mention the name of that tank, which is rather impressive. I've not gone far down the Chinese tank destroyer line myself. I'm only at Tier 3, I think. Yeah, Tier 3. But often these machines kind of look like modified versions of the Soviets. I mean, this is essentially a fictional TD line that was originally introduced for the Ouch. 414, another high damage roll. Originally introduced for the Chinese server, but people kind of were of the opinion that, well, if you've already put it into the game, can we have it on other servers, please? And Wargaming were like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't actually have a problem with that too much. They at least look like, generally speaking, they are machines that would work, and I guess that's because they are based off of the Soviet machines, which are ones that are, generally speaking, historical, or at least there was a concept design for. And by the Soviet TD line, I mean the original one, the one with the ISU 152, Object 704, Object 268, etc. So Pansy is currently on 1300 damage and 453 assistance damage in a tier 9 match. If he were to spontaneously combust at this point and die, he would still have had a respectable game given the tier matchup and whatnot. 1300 damage from a tier 7 in a tier 9 game is a pretty decent result. It may only be 3 penetrating shots because this gun does a lot of damage, but it's still a pretty respectable result. Now Pansy's actually going to relocate over to the other side here. We've got a push from a VK, a Lerva and an E75. The Lerva goes down to the Scorpion, but it looks like the VK is going to have words with the Scorpion while the Scorpion's reloading. Yeah, there we go, and that just leaves this E75. Now he's a slightly tricky proposition, I know from experience, that the 250 pen that Pansy gets with heat ammunition, should he decide to use it, isn't really up to the task of penetrating an E75 frontally. And indeed Pansy does load a heat round, but ultimately he's going to think better of it. Now, this E75 is on very low health at the moment. The Type 4 just put him on less than 100 health, so some HE rounds might do the job here. Pansy has a 122mm gun, 122mm HE, can be quite dangerous. Although apparently not at the moment, for some inexplicable reason, go figure. Okay, so that was unlucky. Then again, high damage rolls earlier on, I guess, swings and roundabouts. Alright, so what can we do now? Hello, Mr. E75, and pew! Nuts to it. Alright, screw this guy. Now, thankfully, if he does poke out, obviously the Type 4 Heavy can execute him. And Pansy's spotted something here, or is going to spot something that I hadn't first time watching this. If you have a look to the left-hand side... that's a bit of a hair-raising moment. If you have a look to the left-hand side at the Tier 9 waffle thrower, he's using the 15cm gun. Now that means his high explosive rounds are going to do a shed ton of damage. So if he's able to load HE, he would actually most likely be able to finish that E75 off. And Pansy's actually going to mention that to him in a moment. Like I said, I didn't notice that first time watching this replay until I saw the comment that Pansy's about to write in chat to the waffle. But yeah, it's definitely true. He's writing it now. So Pansy's come over here, but he wasn't really able to achieve much, which is a problem. And you do actually notice that this thing doesn't have a huge amount of ammunition. It's not a huge tank, and 122mm ammo isn't small. So yeah, it means that you can start burning through the ammo relatively quickly. Ooh, that VK just disappeared. So Pansy is actually down to, I mean, it's 20 rounds overall, 8 of heat and 12 armor piercing. But still, of all the shots he's fired, only 3 of them have actually done any damage, and the scoreline is looking a little dodgy at 8-10. Okay, 9-10, the LTTB does manage to take out the WZ-121FT. Now, I didn't actually talk much about it, but that WZ got up onto the hill and almost single-handedly took on a 4v1 engagement. Not completely single-handedly, the Object 704 ended up killing someone up there as well. But he did well at recapturing the hill. And the LTTB has now died, which leaves the Object 704 up on that hill, and oh dear, that's not going to fill you full of encouragement. In other news, you may or may not have noticed that 1, the E75 has died to the Type 4 Heavy, which is good, and 2, you remember that AMX 65T from right back at the beginning of the game, who went over to the left, sat at K4, well, he's still there, ladies and gents. Hurrah! And you know what? He just got killed by a Batchat. The 12T variety of the bat chat, by the way. So that's a thing that's gonna be a problem. Always fun when you get camping tier 8 heavies. And I appreciate that he was stock, and I appreciate the AMX-65T is not a particularly fun tank to play, but you ain't going to achieve much from sitting at the back of the map. Hello, Mr. Object 704. Right, Pansy's trying to pick out a shot on this object. And there we go. Low damage roll for once, but 360 into the side of that object is nice. Hello, Mr. T25AT. 410, ooh, high roll into you, and oh, T34-3, can we kill him, can we kill him, can we kill him? No, Pansy takes the shot anyway though, which means he's reloading, and actually takes a big damage roll from that T34-3. He is also using a 122mm gun, 390 alpha, rolls for 441, because of course he does, go figure, reasons. And now we've got the Object 704 again, and boom, and bounce. Side of the Object 704 has some interesting angled, spaced, Soviet Stalinium armour. Goodbye, Mr. T25AT, for a damage roll of 430. 122mm guns, by the way, this game are rolling high, it seems. So he is dead. Which I guess is nice. Now, apparently, according to the Black Prince, the Object 704 has managed to get himself on his side. And Pansy just bounced that. Oh, dearie, 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 dearie me. He is a one-shot for that T34-3, but do not underestimate the reload on this tank, or you will end up like that. Now, apparently, like I said, this guy is on his side. Which is interesting. Let's have a look-see. Still need to be careful in... Oh, no, he has managed to flip himself. Sucks to be you, Mr. Object. Sucks to be you. Good night, sweetheart. And he is dead, and that is the game. Nice little sort of carry there from Pansy. I say sort of, because I appreciate the object at the end wasn't hard to kill, but nonetheless, Pansy had to have his wits about him in order to put the damage down that he did. So, let's just go and see how well Pansy was able to do. So, that match actually ended up being enough for fire for effect. Obviously, Pansy did more damage than he has hit points. And an ace tanker for Panties there, which is pretty nicely done. 3,416 damage done. 3 kills, 1,282 base experience. Shoutouts should also go to the enemy T34-3, 4,500 damage, 5 kills, and still a loss, because screw you, of course it is. Due in no small part to the fact that that object managed to balls it up. It looks like he got about 2 shots in, 1 kill and 1 regular shot, and then it all went hideously, hideously wrong for him. 19 shots fired, 13 hits, 9 pens for that damage count. Mixture of close and long range. 1 hit received from that T34-3. It did do damage. The armor on this thing isn't anything to write home about. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 7 damaged, 3 destroyed, 453 assistance damage, and a 29,000 credit profit with a premium account, granted, but no premium, special ammunition fired, so there is that. There we go, ladies and gents, couple of Tank Destroyer replays for you there on Mines. Hope you enjoyed. If you wish to send me your own replays, then jump onto the Discord channel and put it in the appropriate thread, and I will get round to taking a look. Currently trying to go through a backlog of replays that I have. And as ever, I will wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield, ladies and gentlefish. Ciao, ciao.